Welcome to this explainer. If you're a focused learner trying to figure out how that amazing machine inside your head actually works, you are in the perfect place today. We're going to look right under the hood of the human brain to demystify how our memory actually works. We're breaking down the mechanics, the pitfalls, and the science-backed strategies you need to protect your cognitive health.
But hey, before we get into the heavy mechanics, what did you eat for dinner last evening? No, seriously, take a second and think about it. Was it hot, cold? Who were you sitting with? See, just by answering that really simple question, you literally just fired up your brain. You actively engaged your long-term memory retrieval systems right off the bat. You reached into your mental archives and pulled out an experience. So how did you do that so effortlessly?
All right, let's dive right in. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit the memory file box, why we forget, strategies for your mind, fueling the brain, and finally, when to be alert.
Okay, Section 1. The memory file box. To really wrap our heads around memory, it helps to think of the human brain exactly like a computer's filing system. Every single day, we're inputting raw data, right? Experiences, sensory details, emotional excitement, straight into the brain. The brain then sorts all this data. The really important stuff, like recognizing your friends or knowing the way to your house, gets neatly saved in a large, prioritized file box. But the less important data? Well, that just gets tossed into a huge, messy pile of miscellaneous documents.
Now, this whole setup relies on two totally different processing centers. First up is your short-term memory. This is strictly temporary storage, and it has a very limited capacity. It's basically what you use to hold on to a phone number just long enough to dial it. On the flip side, we have long-term memory. This is your orderly, well-organized, permanent storage. It's where your personal experiences, like your graduation day, or basic facts like how to use a calendar, where all of that lives.
But here's the crazy part. The crucial limit to that temporary short-term workspace, it's the number 7. Short-term memory typically maxes out at just 7 items. And get this, unless you actively prompt your memory or repeat those items over and over using different techniques, those 7 items will fade in no more than 30 seconds, literally 30 seconds. If you want to keep it, you've got to transition it from that temporary spot into the long-term file box.
Which brings us to Section 2, why we forget.
So, if we know how this system is supposed to work, why does it sometimes crash or fail to retrieve our files? Well, we really need to destigmatize forgetfulness here. Failing to recall a friend's name or some math formula usually isn't a brain failure at all. It's actually just a storage problem. Sometimes your brain organizes information totally randomly, without an orderly framework. Because it was filed into that messy pile we talked about earlier, it causes a massive delay when you try to retrieve it. You didn't lose the memory, you just misfiled it.
And this leads to an incredibly empowering thesis from the source material. It says, it is like learning to play the piano or basketball. You must practice. It absolutely doesn't matter if you think your memory is currently strong or weak. Boosting your memory is something everyone can achieve equally, as long as you put in the active practice. You intentionally have to connect your memory to a well-organized framework.
All right, Section 3, strategies for your mind. If practice is the key, let's look at the specific software updates you can install right now to organize your mind and expand your storage. Researchers know that memory decline isn't just some unavoidable part of getting older. By making active, healthy lifestyle choices, you can firmly maintain your mental health year after year. You can create mental challenges in so many fun ways. Join a debate club, or honestly just play board games. That actually reduces neurological disorders. You can pick up artistic skills like painting or writing poetry to increase brain capacity. Go ahead and learn a new foreign language or study astronomy. And crucially, connect socially. Work part-time, join community clubs, volunteer. Isolation is a massive risk factor for cognitive decline, so staying socially active literally keeps your mind strong. But when you do learn something new, how do you actually keep it? Well, here is the exact procedure for locking new info into your permanent memory file box. Step 1. Review it within 20 minutes. Step 2. Review it 1 hour later. Step 3. Review it 1 day a week. And Step 4. Review it once a month. The source notes that if you repeat this review cycle every year for 3 to 4 years, that information will stay in your memory forever. It is basically the ultimate save function. Now, here's a really surprising takeaway from this section. Strong writing skills are actually a direct indicator of how well your memory will be preserved. Studies show that if you can integrate complex thoughts into your sentences or articles, your risk level of losing your memory is significantly lower. Expressing what you have in your mind strengthens the actual physical connections in your brain.
Moving on to Section 4, fueling the brain.
We've updated the software, so now let's focus on hardware maintenance, the physical and dietary fuel your biological system requires to run efficiently. Your brain doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? It's part of your physical body. How you feed it and how you move directly dictates how well your memory functions.
Let's start with a really powerful dietary stat, 25%. Eating baked or grilled high-fat fish, which is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, at least 3 times a week, reduces your risk of memory loss by 25%. We see this a lot in Mediterranean diets, where those omega-3s lead to a longer life and much lower memory loss risks.
Beyond diet, you absolutely must manage stress. Did you know worry actually prevents memories from recording properly? Next up is sleep. Taking a new nap and getting your 7 to 8 hours at night is absolutely crucial, because that is when long-term memories actually take shape. Oh, and a quick heads up for vegetarians. Recent studies show that people who don't eat meat, milk, or eggs can lose mental sharpness if they don't supplement to get enough vitamin B12. And finally, protect your head. Always wear a helmet and a seatbelt, because head impacts drastically increase the risk of memory loss.
Now, what about exercise? Well, you should be really encouraged by this number, 11. Look, walking 16 to 24 kilometers a week is fantastic, but if you aren't used to exercising, you can get tremendous mental benefits from walking just 11 kilometers a week. That's basically just walking at a fast pace for 30 minutes a day, 4 days a week over 6 months. Doing just that drastically increases mindfulness and strengthens your thinking.
And here is exactly why physical exercise matters so much. There is a direct, undeniable link between your heart and your brain. A healthy heartbeat pumps 20 to 25% of your blood straight up to the brain. So, to preserve your reasoning abilities and avoid forgetfulness, you have to maintain heart health. That means increasing good cholesterol through exercise, lowering the bad kind, and absolutely for sure, avoiding smoking. Okay, our final stop, Section 5, when to be alert.
We've talked a lot about optimizing your system, but we really need to discuss the critical system alerts that you simply cannot ignore. Consider this the crucial warning label for your memory file box. While momentarily misplacing your keys might just be a random filing error, there are specific lapses that point to a much deeper hardware issue.
For example, if you are forgetting how to use your phone, a device you use every single day, or if you forget the way back to your own house, these are severe warning signs. These specific lapses could be indicators of underlying brain disease, unresolved stress or trauma, or even thyroid gland problems. If you or someone you love is experiencing these specific severe lapses, I strongly advise that you must hurry and consult a doctor immediately. So, we've covered the filing mechanics, the storage errors, the mental software, and the physical hardware. I want to leave you with this provocative thought to tie our whole computer analogy together. What system upgrade are you going to make today to organize your memory file box? Will you start walking those 11 kilometers a week? Will you learn a new language? Or maybe try reviewing your notes using that 4-step timeline? The science is incredibly clear here. Your memory is in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really can't wait to see how you upgrade your mind. Keep learning and keep organizing.